Hello my friends, welcome back to Bazen Graphics. What you are seeing right now is what we shall be designing, our monkey cap, a hat. Here we call it an igwe cap. So that's what we shall be designing on top of our monkey. So let's begin. So right now, what you are seeing here is the viewport where we spend most of our time. This is where we shall be spending most of our time. So let's first create our monkey. So the monkey character or the model comes it comes with Blender. So let's first delete this X on the keyboard, and let's create one. Shift A on the keyboard, go to mesh and select monkey or monkey, depends on where you're coming from. So you can see that I've already created for us. This should be in your Blender, or if you don't want to use shortcuts, or if you don't know how to use the shortcuts hotkeys, just come to the menu on top here and go to layout, then go to add, select mesh, and these are the most ones we shall be using, but right now we are selecting the monkey option. So as you can see, our monkey is here. So someone may ask, how am I rotating around like this? You just have to use your mouse, the middle button of your mouse. If you long press it and you move it around, it will move for you like this. It will rotate around, and if you want to pen it like this, the way I'm doing right now, you just have to click shift button on your keyboard and the middle mouse button, and you move it around. So just simple like that. So the next thing we shall be doing is I'm going to bring up my image. I'm just going to pull up this section here, the panel, or the panel down here. I'm going to pull it up. On the left, there's this clock icon. When you click on it, they'll bring for you different options. You just have to click and select the image editor. So when you select the image editor, you come to this folder here, and you will go and locate where your image is. So mine, it's in Blender, Igwe. Like I said, it's called the Igwe cap, and I open the image. As you can see right now, this is the image we shall be using to create our cap. So we are going to use this as a reference. All right, let's first hide it a little so that we can continue. One of the things before we continue I wanted to show you is the lighting and the camera. The lighting and the camera. If you've been watching my previous tutorials, I have not explained more about it. So from what you are seeing right now, this is the camera. I use the left clicking to select it, and this is the light. Or you can go to the right top here on the outliner, and you can select Suzanne is our monkey light, and the camera. So I wanted to first talk about the light. Yep, I wanted to talk about the light. So this lighting is how our image will appear in light. So how do we do that? Now, this viewport here has different versions of looking at it. If we go to the right top corner here, we are seeing these round icons. The first one is the wire mesh or the wireframe. It shows you the wireframe of our monkey. Then there is also solid. This one is the one we always most of the times. That's where we model from. And we have also the material preview. The material preview helps us to do the shading, like I'll be showing you. Then there's also what we call the rendered view. So the rendered view is how the image will come out after you creating your objects, and you want to show them to the world through PNG or something else, a video, something animation. This is how they will come out. So the rendered view, you can see that one part has light and another one is dark, and what causes that is what we call the lighting. So how do we change this lighting? First of all, let's first select, let's go back to our solid. You can see here our solid view, or you can just click letter Z or Z on the keyboard, and it will bring for you these options, which are very simple to use. And you are going to be selecting solid here. So when you select solid here, let's just move it up. We select it and we move it. To move your solid, to move anything, you just click letter G on your keyboard, and we are going to move it along the Z axis. We click again, Z, and we are going to move it on top. So around there, it's better for us to look at it. All right, now we are going back to lighting. So when we go back to our rendered view, you can see that the light is at this angle. This is our light here. So it's hitting this angle here. And if we are to render this image by clicking on render and select render image, if we are to render, this is how our image will come out. If we want to show it to the world, this is how it will come out. The light is being hit on this side and this side is dark. So how do we make this front part to have more light? We just have to shift our light. How? We just have to select it, then we click G on our keyboard and we move it to where we want it. You can see that when we move our light, our face is being shown. Let's select it again, letter G to move it. Yep. So you play around with it and you can see that you are seeing the front part. So you are seeing the front part because the light is being applied on the front part. Hope you understand what I'm saying. So if we are to render our image, and you will see that now the light is being showed, but they are showing our image from an angle. Why? It is because that is where our camera is viewing the object. So this is our camera, like I said, this is our camera. So if we are to go to its position here, we see that it's viewing our object from that angle. That's why our image is coming out that way. But if we want to have also a more specific view of the camera, we just have to come on the right here. There are icons here. There's the icon of the camera. We select it and we shall see how the camera is viewing our image. If we are to render our image again, it will come out this way. So let's render our image. You can see if we are to put it aside at the bottom, this is the same view. So that's how our rendered images come out. They come out from the view of the camera. So how do we change the view of the camera? How do we change the view of the camera? For example, let's first leave it. For example, if we want to view our image like this, you understand? If we want our image to come out in this position, because if we render it, it will be coming out on the other position. So what we do is we are going to attach our camera to our view. How? So what we do is we make sure our camera is selected, click letter N on the keyboard. Letter N brings the properties of that object. And on the right here, right top, we are going to select view. So when we select view, there's an option here called camera to view. So we check it, and when we check it and we click N again, our properties will disappear. And when we click the camera icon, you can see that it is being showed the way the camera is. So if we are to change like this using the middle mouse button, if we are to change like this, for example, here, and we zoom it and we position it like this, shift on the keyboard, we position it like this, scroll to zoom in and zoom out. Yep, we position it like this. This is how we wanted it. So now, here, if we are to render our image, we go to render, then render image. They will show us this part where our image is rendered the way we want it, the way we are viewing it right now. So here we have attached the camera to our view so that anything we change, if we change the position, the camera will follow our view. So now let's go back, let's unclick here and let's click N and let's first uncheck it. Hope you have understood what I'm explaining there. So the next thing we are going to be doing right now is we are going to be creating our cape. We are going to be creating our cape that we have been seeing when we open this, this project. So how do we create our cape? So what we are going to do is we are going to put it on top of our monkey, our cape. So what we are going to do, remember now this is our image down here. We are going to create a circular circle around the head of our monkey. So that's how it should be, like you are seeing it at the bottom here. So now we are going to be creating a circle. How do we create a circle? Control. We are going to use Shift A, or you go to layout, add, mesh, circle. So when we create a circle, you can see that they have created our circle at the bottom. So we are going to be moving it upwards. We are going to select letter G on the keyboard along the Z axis, Z, and we are going to move it on top, around there. So our circle is kind of big, so we are going to also reduce it from top. So we can use these shortcuts. If you don't know these shortcuts, please be watching my videos because I always put them. So we are going to be viewing our circle from top here. So we are going to reduce it. We are going to reduce it along the X and Y axis, not the Z axis. So we are going to scale it and reduce it along the Y and the X axis and eliminate Z axis. How do we do that? Letter S for scaling and the Shift Z for eliminating Z. So we are going to reduce it like that, around there. I think if I'm going back to my 3D view, I want the eyelashes or whatever they call them to be around there. Yep, that's enough. We can reduce it more. Scale, Shift Z. Let's move it a little bit up. G on the Z axis. Yep. I think that's enough. Yep, that's a circle which will define our cape on top. So what do we do next? Now we are going to start extruding our circle. We are going to extrude the faces or the edges or the vertices of our circle. How do we do that? If you know how to edit, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, please watch my previous videos. We are going to go to an edit mode. Right now we are in the object mode. If you look at the left top here, it's object mode. If you click and they bring for you selection, you can select edit mode, or you can click tab on your keyboard and you can see that they are provided more options on the left side here. If we click tab again, it goes to the object mode. We click tab, they bring other options here. So this part here, this section here, this edit mode helps you to edit our components. So now remember, our objects are made up of faces. They are made up of edges and faces, edges, and vertices. What do I mean? For example, if I select our monkey here and I select a face option, you can see on top, on the top here, on the left top, we have the first option is for vertices. The second one is for edges, and this one is for faces. The way they are, to select them on the keyboard, 1, 2, 3. So we want to select a face. So we are going to click later. We are going to click number 3 on the keyboard, and we're going to select one of the faces of our Suzanne. Let's see, one of the faces. Yep. Tab one of the faces of our Suzanne here. And we can move it around. Letter G, you can see we are moving the face. Right click, take it back. If we select edges, number 2, we can move also the edge like that. So please, if you don't know these things, watch my previous videos. So now let's go and select our circle again, because we have to create our cape. So this is our circle, and it's selected. Let's go back to the edit mode. If it's not selected, you just have to come and click on the edge option here. Select one edge here of the circle, then go to select layout, select, and you go to select loops, edge loops, and it will select all the edges that look like it, and it is our circle. So the next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to extrude it. Extrude it, we use the extrude tool. You just have to come here on the options here and look for the extrude tool. But I like using my shortcuts. I use letter E on the keyboard. Letter E on the keyboard. I'm going to extrude. I click letter E and I'm going to extrude it along the Z axis. I click letter Z and I extrude it on top like that. So if we see it from afar, we see that it is coming out. Yep. Let's look at our cape here. Yep, a little bit ours is kind of short. So what we are going to do is we are going to go back, extrude along the Z axis, and we'll push it a little there. Yep. That's enough. Yep, that's enough for our cape. You can expand it or you can reduce the height. So we have extruded it along the Z axis. So the next thing we are going to do, when we look at our cape here, at the edges of our cape, it's not sharp, it's kind of round. It's kind of round at the edges. So we have to make sure we don't leave it sharp on top like this. So how are we going to do? So please follow me. Right now I'm doing it in the in the rendered version. Let's go to our solid version so that we can see what we are doing exactly, because the rendered version sometimes has light and other parts don't have light. So other parts have light, other parts don't have light. So let's continue. So we are going to be making our edges kinda round. So how do we do it? Please pay attention. We are going to again click E on our keyboard. We are going to extrude it along the Z axis. We are going to have it around there. That's enough. And then we are going to scale it. We are going to scale it. S on the keyboard. And then we scale it a little bit inside. Yep. And then we are going to do a little bit inside. A little bit inside. Yep, you can see. Then we are also, let's put it back. Hope you're seeing what I'm doing. We have pulled it up. S on the keyboard, pull it a little bit inside, around there. And then we are going to extrude it also along the Z axis, but downwards. E, Z, we extrude it along downwards here. We can put it along there. Yep. Then we are going to extrude it inside. S on the keyboard, and we are going to, a little bit inside. Yep. So you can see we are creating a little, we are creating something like a curve. So the next thing is we are going to also, so we are trying to create this top curve here, the one you are seeing here. So what we are going to do is we are going to extrude it again along the Z axis, down a bit there, then S to a little bit, to bring them a little bit inside. And then we are going to extrude it upwards along the Z axis, E, then Z axis. We're going to pull it up like this. You understand? Let me put it back, because a better view will be viewing it from this angle. So we are going to use our shortcut, and we are going to be like, let's view it from the left, and so that we can have some protrusion like this one here. So we are going to use E along Z axis, and we are going to pull it up. Yep, we're going to pull it up around, I think, around there. So let's go back inside here. So we are trying to create our cape. We are going to use S. We're going to scale it a little bit inside like this. Yep. Let's move it more, a little bit inside. Yes, like that. No, S, a little bit inside. Yep. So these things come with practice. So I'm just doing just so that you can also practice and become perfect at it. So next thing, we are going to extrude along the Z axis like this, around there. And then we are going to use S, and we are trying to create a dome-like thing, a dome-like like a round top thing. So the next thing is Z. I think now you understand what I'm doing. Scale. I think that's enough. So the next thing we are going to do is, so you can do as many as you want to bring out a perfect circle. And then the rest here, I don't want to do more extrusion. I'm just going to click letter F on the keyboard to create for me a face on top here, with the vertices, with the edges selected. So when you click letter F on the keyboard, they fill it with a face. So if we go back to our object mode by clicking tab, you can see that our cape is coming out. Our Igwe cape is coming out, as you can see. If I'm select, so you can see that it's a little bit coming out. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to make these edges a little bit smooth by adding more edges. How? Let's go back to our edit mode. And we are going to select the edges here. Like I told you, we're going to select our edges here. So click number 2 on the keyboard, select this edge. We're going to select all the edges that look like it. You right click. No, you don't right click. You just come to select here. You go to select loops, edge loops, as you can see, to select all the edge loops. And we are going to use what we call the bevel option. The bevel option helps us to add more edges and make a round shape. So when you go to the left here, there is an option for bevel. So when you click it, you can play around. You pull it like this. It creates for you something like that. Don't over pull it. It will create something which you do not want. You see what it's creating. Don't over pull it. So you create something like that. Then you're going to scroll on your middle mouse button like this, create more edges and make it more round. So another simple way you can do it, you can select this edge, you select that edge, and then you come and select edges that look like it. Select edge loops. You can do all this at once, but my computer, my Blender always crashes when I do it that way, so that's why I'm selecting one by one. So I select this one, letter Q on the keyboard, bring for me the favorites. If you don't know how to put this, letter Q brings for you the favorites, most things you use in Blender. So letter Q brings for you. I put edge loops in my favorites. To do that, you just have to come select here, select loops. You come to edge loops, right click. You can see they are putting for me remove from quick favorites. If it's not there, they will put add to quick favorites, so that you don't have to always come and select add. No, you just have to click letter Q and select the edge loops, and you are going to play around with it like this. You can play around with it like this, and you add more edges, and you're creating somehow a nice one. You just also come here, Q, edge loops. So you play around with it to come up with the best, what you want to achieve. Depends on what you want to achieve. So you play around with it. Please play around with these things. You will get better at it. So let's leave it that way. And also this one, let's Q. You play around with it depending on how you want your cape to come out. So if we go back to our tab section, and we go to the object mode, you can see that our cape is coming out a little bit nice. So to make it more smoother, because it has edges, you are seeing too many edges here, you just have to come and select our cape, right click in object mode, and select shade smooth, and you can see that our cape has come out in a nice way. So the way I'm doing things, I'm practicing, I'm learning and sharing. So if I'm not doing it in the perfect way, you wait for me in the other tutorials. But for now, this is how I'm doing it, and I'm sure I'm going to get there. So the next thing we are going to be doing is what we call shading. So shading is adding color to our objects. So we are going to shade our cape. You can see that at our preview here, it's red in color. So you select it and go to the material preview. Material preview is where we shade from. So we have selected it, and on the right here, or on the right options here, we have what we call material section here. The material icon, you select it and come and click new, and they will create for you a shader. I think they are called shaders, and this one is called material 001. You can rename it. Then it has different properties, which we shall be using slowly. So the best one is the one we can use to change the color. So it can be like our cape is red, and also we select our monkey. You can see that it didn't have a shader, so we create a new shader. We give it a brown-like color, not a yellowish, brown-like color. Yep, you can see how it is coming out. It's perfect. If we go to our rendered version, we click here, rendered, or we just have to click Z and we go to the rendered version. You can see that our monkey looks dope. So we can even change the position of the light for us to see it very nicely. G to move our light. You can see we can give our monkey more light. So it depends on what you want. So G, you can move our light, G, like this. So according to the angle you want to give it more light. You can see that our monkey looks nice. If we view it from the camera angle, you can see that's the way it is. Let's position our camera to our view, and we select camera to our view, and again to make it disappear, and we go to the camera view section. And if we are to position it that way, like this, and we put it that way, you can see that our man is coming out. So if we are to render, our image, this is how it will come out. Yeah, our monkey has a cape, so you can also do yours. You can do another cape. For me, I wanted to do an Igwe cape. All right, thanks for watching. Next, we shall be doing the donut tutorial. I've been seeing it on YouTube, and I'm learning, and I'll also be showing what I'm learning so that I can also create the donut tutorial. That's what we shall be doing next in our video. Thanks for watching. We remain Bazen Graphics.